You have a choice. And this choice is the most important decision you'll make in your lifetime, moving ahead. And whether you realize it or not, every thought, every emotion, your beliefs, your intentions is choosing a destiny right now. The choice isn't what you think. This isn't a choice between good and evil, positive or negative. This isn't a choice between the red pill and the blue pill. Throw the pills away. The choice is being made for you. If you're not making the choice, it's being made for you. In this video, I'm going to talk briefly about the timeline split that faces humanity ahead. What's up, everybody? Brian again here. Beautiful day, ready to unpack this revelation of truth that not only myself, but millions of others on this little third rock from the sun are acutely aware of. And unfortunately, tragically, most people are not. Most people are running around in the dark, completely oblivious to who they are, what this universe actually is, and what is happening here on Earth. It's heart-wrenching. The choice is simple. Either evolve organically or be evolved synthetically through synthetic evolution. Organic evolution requires a deeper understanding of who we are, how we got here, what this universe is, as well as evolving the mind-body-spirit complex naturally. I personally do this through activating dormant energies within the human nervous system, the Kundalini, through cellular health, through various forms of acute stress that signal to the human biology that the environment is harsh and hostile, so that the genes may be upregulated, so that the species can evolve, so that the genetic expression can evolve. Synthetic evolution, on the other hand, involves merging our biology with technology. And whether you realize it or not, synthetic evolution, transhumanism, is in full swing. But don't worry, because not everyone's going down that timeline. Many of us are heading to a very positive timeline, service to other oriented, in which humanity evolves into unity consciousness. But to understand organic evolution, which is, I'm assuming, what you're looking to do if you're watching this video, to understand it, you first need to take a huge step back into human history and understand who we are in relative terms as a species on this planet. Everything else on this planet, every other species, obviously exists in harmony with nature, evolves through nature. The human believes itself to be separate from nature, believes consciousness is a product of the brain, which is not. Mind actually creates matter. Science has it backwards. They know they do, and that's why they've been stuck at a dead end for 100 years now. Quantum science, on the other hand, is proving non-locality. The universe, that time and space aren't fundamental, and that the pattern of the whole is actually enfolded in every part. The universe is actually inside you. This is a projection. But to back up a little further here, we first must understand that the human organism did not evolve organically on this planet. And this is a bitter pill for a lot of people to swallow. But if you reference the book of Genesis, and you look even further back into the ancient Sumerian cultures, they talk about an advanced race of extraterrestrials who came here to Earth prior to hominids evolving into intelligent species to mine gold, to save their home planet. They came here to Earth and they they crossed their genetics with the pre-existing Homo sapien here, and that's where we have a leap in evolution. The Genesis story isn't describing God, like the one true God of the universe. They would have appeared to be gods by all means due to their advancement. It is describing an advanced race of extraterrestrials known as the Annunaki, who needed a species to mine gold, and that's what humans were created for. Adam and Eve were genetic templates. You cannot make 8 billion people, which is the current population on this earth, out of one man and one woman. It's absurd. And anyone believing this has my deepest condolences, because the truth of the matter is we were bred to be the human organism separate from nature and subservient to the Annunaki, which we were for thousands, or I don't actually know the time, but what I do know is that because we did not evolve organically on this planet, this has to be taken into consideration and understood, that our DNA contains within it potentials that would blow your mind. And that's why our DNA is under attack. Okay? We have actually reached a crossroads, the human species. With the advent of the atomic weaponry, we are actually a danger to this planet, severe danger, because we're like children running around with atom bombs. We're like cavemen running around with nuclear weaponry. We're a danger to ourselves. So a cry has gone out into the cosmos, which is filled with Earth-like planets, many of which we have had prior incarnations. Some of us have had prior incarnations on, that has came in at this critical threshold. We as a species have to evolve. And so that's the two choices: synthetic evolution and organic evolution. Now here's the thing. The universe is an energy hologram. The pattern of the whole is literally enfolded in every part. Physical Earth, this Earth planet, is a projection of the mind. The projection is based on our DNA. So here's the deal. A lot of people are not prepared to step into higher consciousness, are not eligible to step into higher consciousness. We come into this three-dimensional reality with a blueprint of what is possible. There is a limit. There are higher dimensional forces that will prevent you from exceeding the ceiling. There are cities and abilities you can cultivate, and there are others that you're not going to be allowed to cultivate. But what I'm getting at here is that this critical threshold of evolution is karmically ordained. The Earth is now at a phase in the Milky Way galaxy where the sun is blasting us with high frequency energy designed to upgrade our DNA. So to save the Earth, the timeline split that I've seen and millions of others is one going down the path of transhumanism, where technology is going to continue to advance, where we will merge our biology with technology, and where the planet will essentially become like a computer, a machine, like it already is essentially. On other planets, the advanced hominids, like it's similar to the movie Avatar, where they live in harmony with nature. They understand oneness. They understand they're a part of nature. They are stewards of the Earth. The Earth is not, nature isn't just a means to an end. And so there's this other timeline of unity consciousness. Now, to imagine this timeline, I want you to picture, I'll give you a metaphor, and this is how I saw it, okay? During one of my countless trips to the other side, near-death NDEs, I want you to imagine a meteor hitting this planet from outer space, hitting it and kicking up a cloud of dust, right? That's a metaphor. That's a metaphor that describes one Christ being. Changed the world. Christ came here 2,000 years ago to seed higher dimensional consciousness. His teachings were so ahead of their time, they knew there was no way that these teachings were going to go unadulterated, undistorted through the ages, that the elite rulers, the darkness of this age, would swallow them up and weaponize them and use them as just another institution, another industry of profit and control, fear-based control. Now, imagine that being that changed the world, the most influential man in the history of the human race, who, by the way, most of his life is unaccounted for, because this is going to shock a lot of y'all when you get to the other side. You're going to find out our boy studied in India in his missing years, in Egypt, in Tibet, but primarily I would say India, with spiritual masters, where spiritual traditions thousands of years older have thrived for advanced souls willing to undertake the journey to die to self. So imagine that cosmic boom that hits the earth, right? Now imagine that, and how much one man changed the world. Now imagine hundreds of those beings arriving here and eventually changing the whole population as a whole. That is the positive timeline. That is organic evolution. That is unity consciousness, which is emerging, which you are choosing now With every decision, thought, intention, and action, we create our own reality. You are choosing one of these two paths. Okay? So taking the red pill is integrating the knowledge and understanding that this has been a slave planet. Souls have been getting recycled for thousands of years, right? Religion has been used against the masses. Every industry has been used against the masses. And an awakening cycle is underway, right? That's what we're looking at. Personally, I stand nothing to gain by delivering this message. In fact, I would urge you, don't shoot the messenger, okay? Many of us are under karmic contract when we took birth here to participate in this. As a service to others, we create our own reality. And I gotta be honest with you, it is much easier to live in the comforts of illusion, believing the narratives that we have been indoctrinated with, than it is to take radical responsibility for our own evolution and growth. That path of emptying our cup and understanding that what we were raised to believe, that what the masses are believing to be truth about reality was carefully orchestrated, is a hard truth to live. And it is one that carries enormous responsibility. Not only responsibility for yourself, but responsibility to the world around you. What I'll say in closing here is, because of my upbringing as a very conservative, devout Christian, when I had my spiritual awakening, the first thing I did, one of the first things immediately, was seek out these forbidden texts, these Gnostic Gospels, which we wouldn't even have if a monastery in Egypt had not preserved them in a tomb for thousands of years, had they not been uncovered to find the Gospel of Thomas and the Gospel of Mary, sacred gems that paint an entire different picture of that perfected being who now oversees, or who now is a part of this awakening cycle. He has seeded higher dimensional consciousness. The teachings are available, and I would like to unpack those teachings, because I feel like it is the duty of every truth seeker to disseminate information, to share. We are all one human family. Humanity is one tribe, good and evil, two sides of the same coin. The world is an illusion. We have to take responsibility for who we truly are as an inseparable aspect of the one infinite creator. God alone is real. And spiritual amnesia, which is the default setting here on earth, is probably the closest thing to hell that you'll experience, is a perpetual forgetting, a repeating of the same life lessons over and over and failing to learn them. We must learn from our lessons. We must integrate the knowledge that I have disclosed in this, that we create our own reality, right? And we must choose. Because if we don't choose, I assure you, the choice will be made for you. It's being made for you. I love you all.